June 1984. Busch Gardens the Old Country, known today as Busch Gardens Williamsburg, opens a new coaster in the Oktoberfest section of the park. The coaster draws its name from one of the most recognizable fairy tale monsters in history, and utilizes a not often used coaster model to send riders dashing and swinging through the Black Forest of Germany. On that day, the Big Bad Wolf was born. Excuse me, I had something in my throat there. That was weird. The Big Bad Wolf was a suspended coaster. Built by Aerodynamics, there were a few others of its kind around the country, but this one would distinguish itself through how it used its unique mechanic. The swinging of the cars would be used to create the feeling of near misses with various facades of a German village in the surrounding trees, as if you yourself were the ferocious wolf that made its namesake. All of this would culminate with a final lift hill before your train dove towards the fake Rhine River only to swing away at the last second. The Big Bad Wolf quickly established itself as a fan favorite among park goers and enjoyed a long lifespan among roller coasters. It is of note to me personally because it was the first roller coaster I ever went on. It was not without unfortunate incidents, including some tragic accidents. However, none of these would really shutter the ride. Still, everything must come to an end, and so the Big Bad Wolf officially closed in September 2009. Fans were, of course, saddened to hear that they would no longer be able to ride at the speed of fright, but many also understood that a 25-year lifespan is nothing to sneeze at. It didn't take long, though, for fans to realize something was happening in the dark forest that the wolf once called home. In 2010, Busch Gardens began laying out plans for a new coaster on the site. A steel, multi-launch coaster that would stand on the spot that the Big Bad Wolf once did. And so it was, 2 years later, in 2012, that a new coaster opened. Verbolten. A play on the German word verboten, meaning forbidden, Verbolten quickly drew recognition as a spiritual successor of sorts to the former resident of its footprint. The ride queue set up the story of a car rental company offering tours of the German Autobahn. However, riders were warned not to enter the forbidden Black Forest. Being a thrill ride, that is obviously the first thing that happens after riders leave the station. Your coaster, designed to resemble a line of convertibles, make their way into a decrepit, vine-wrapped, and dark stone structure in the Black Forest. Inside, riders have a chance to experience one of three stories: Lightning Storm, Spirit of the Forest, or the Big Bad Wolf. Each of these stories is accomplished through a combination of lighting and sound effects, working in tandem with the ride's twists, turns, and a surprise that I don't dare spoil here. From there, riders are launched out of the structure until they reach a very familiar, yet very rickety-looking collapsed bridge, before diving down towards the Rhine River below. From there, they swerve to the side at the last moment before returning to the station, having escaped the Black Forest. Now, if you've been paying attention, you may have noticed a few things that piqued the interest of Big Bad Wolf fans upon the opening of Verbolten. Seeking to establish itself as a spiritual successor, as I said before, Verbolten incorporates an homage to its predecessor as one of its three stories and follows it up by recreating Big Bad Wolf's signature dive towards the river, even using the same concrete footers at the bottom. Another, even smaller Easter egg comes in the form of the license plates found on the cars you ride in. With three variants in total, each one in some way relates to the ride, including one with the words Wolf Xing or Wolf Crossing. Now, obviously, some fans weren't so easily won over. How could they be? They missed the original ride, and with a reputation as strong as it had, it's honestly not surprising. For others, like me, the Big Bad Wolf kind of lives on to this day in Verbolten. It's a fantastic love letter to the coaster that came before it, and just being very fun on its own besides. And so, if you ever find yourself back in the Oktoberfest section of Busch Gardens Williamsburg, keep an eye out. It may not be the same as before, but you just might hear screams coming from the nearby forest as a red-eyed wolf makes sure that guests still ride at the speed of fright. Thank you very much for joining me on my second episode of Park Hopping. I'm still very excited about this. I hope you guys thought this was interesting, learning a bit about Big Bad Wolf and its successor, Verbolten. And if you have any ideas for what you want us to cover in the future, then leave it a comment. And who knows, maybe it'll show up as an episode in the future. Once again, this has been Park Hopping with Jack. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll see you all next time.